into fire or water, and what is it? Seeking to destroy him. So this is a classic example of a raging spirit at work. And we have said so many things about this spirit, raging spirit, how it manifests. So the disciples failed. They failed. They failed to do what the man requested of them. They failed. The Father asked Jesus' disciples to cast out the demon, but they failed to do so. They could not. This failure is not because the demon was too powerful, no, but rather because the disciples lacked the authority and faith that was needed to deal with the raging spirit. So Jesus, later on, when they asked Jesus, why could we not cast out the devil? And Jesus said, this kind goeth not, but by prayer and fasting. This kind goeth not, but by prayer and fasting. You know, fasting and prayer is required to cast out demons when there are several of them. Because in this boy's case, you realize that it was not just one demon in operation. There were about 2 demons that were identified by Jesus, deaf and dumb spirits. And therefore, fasting is required to step up in authority to be able to deal with it. So that they could not. And so Jesus intervened. And when Jesus arrived on the scene, the Father pleaded with Jesus to help his son. And Jesus responded by saying that everything is possible for one who believes. Everything is possible. Mark 9:23. Everything is possible for one that believes. And then the Father cries out saying, I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. Now, that is the story in Mark chapter 9, verses 17 to 24. Now, so what is the place of pleading the blood of Jesus? Let's focus on this aspect of pleading the blood of Jesus. Although the phrase pleading the blood is not explicitly mentioned in the Bible. It is not explicitly mentioned in the Bible. It is not mentioned in the Bible. It is not mentioned in the Bible passage. But the principle applied. The principle still applied. When Jesus cast out the demon, he was exercising his authority as the Son of God. And the truth is that his blood is the basis of that authority. In Revelation chapter 12, verses 11, we read that we overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. So this verse actually highlights the importance of the blood of Jesus in overcoming spiritual enemies. Now, so we must know how to apply it. So the big question now is, how can we apply this principle of pleading the blood of Jesus when dealing with raging spirits? How can we apply the principle of pleading the blood of Jesus when dealing with a raging spirit? Should be a concern, and we should know how to. We should know how to. Number one, recognize the enemy, recognize the authority of the blood. Recognize the authority of the blood. So understand that the blood of Jesus is the basis of our authority as believers. Yes, it's the blood that gives us access to God's presence and power. And number two, we must exercise it in faith. Must exercise in faith. Like the Father in Mark chapter 9, we need to exercise faith when dealing with raging spirits. We must believe that God is able and willing to deliver us and others from demonic oppression. He is able. God is able. God is able. And number three, plead the blood in prayer. Plead the blood in prayer. Praying against raging spirits, plead the blood of Jesus. Use phrases like, I plead the blood of Jesus over maybe your name, maybe your person, maybe your situation, whatever. Yes. Or I apply the blood of Jesus to specific areas of need.